So this is my 1908 domestic hit and miss engine. It puts out approximately 3 horsepower, and we're going to run it here today. The carburetor is down here, and we have, just for temporary use, we have a boat gas tank, which I can prime the carburetor to provide fuel to it. Normally, the fuel is stored inside the fuel tank, which is the base of the engine. We have our throttle, our starting lever, I'm currently in the process of rebuilding the oilers, so I've just been oiling it manually on the crankshaft and the piston. It is a 6-inch bore, 6-inch stroke, so we're going to start oiling it up. If you're wondering what this pulley is here for, there's actually a water pump that will go inside of this water tank and provide cooling to the engine that comes up, goes in here, and comes out here. There's actually a water jacket here. That's why I can only run it for a minute or two at a time. The timing shaft is achieved by this gear here, which then runs up this shaft, which then regulates the spark, like that. When that clips down, that's when it fires. Throttle is then, this is the governor here, which can move in or out depending upon the amount of centrifugal force, which is of course determined by the amount of speed that the flywheels have. The max RPM on this engine is 100 RPM, and that's what it's rated for at 3 horsepower. They're just not designed to really run that much faster, and of course we have cast Babbitt bearings in here. There's no ball bearings. Obviously those weren't invented. This is 50, 60 years before that became mainstream. But they're very simple engines. I spent several years restoring this. When I first got it, it was completely locked up. And if you want to look down here, this is the intake valve, which I can move with my hand. And then this is the exhaust valve. The way I'm able to start it is because there's the way the governor works is it forces this valve down and prevents it from closing. So this valve's closed right now. Now it's open. The entire unit weighs roughly 600 pounds. The engine's about 550, and the cart weighs another 100. We then rebuilt to make it as accurate as possible a period-specific cart with cast iron wheels. I still need to put the handle on it. So this engine was made in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania by Domestic Manufacturing Engine and Pump Co. in 1908, so it's actually older than the Titanic, and in fact it's so old that there's no spark plugs. It uses an internal point setup to achieve the ignition. Of course we have this kind of janky setup here to provide the ignition. In the future I will have a coil box and all that. So the starting procedure is we need to hold the exhaust valve open so that we get enough momentum. Shut the compression release, and then energize the coil, which is being run off of this little 12-volt battery, which it normally should be 6-volt. And we're going to prime the carburetor. Usually until we get a little drip. And now I can start cranking. Do a little hand choke. Alright. Gonna try a second attempt. Decompression. Turn that back on. Try for take 2. So we found that the problem we were having was that the fuel was too old, so we went out and got some fresh gas, and it is running really nice now, so we're going to fire it up.